Hello, everybody. How is everyone? So I'm Corolla. I'm doing some questions that got sent to me quite a lot, actually. So we're going to do part-time series on it. So I've written in the below description some of it. So basically, we're going into intergalactic travel, vortexes, timelines. Where do we go at night? Shape-shifting, silver. Crystals, scale crystals, Pleiades, Commander Ashtar, and all that kind of universal Sirius, universal knowing that is out there. The Looking Glass. It's a very interesting subject. In the moment, in one of my past videos on Facebook, I talked about that we're time warping and it's wobbling basically. So it's like there's the timelines are wobbling, right? A lot of people talk about two timelines. I sometimes believe there's more than two timelines, but that's just my belief. So this is for entertainment purposes. How you take it is up to you. What you believe is your choice. Do your own research, and always, if it helps you ascend into a higher vibration, beautiful. We're also going to talk about the Amethyst scale, the Sphinx, the 12 chakras, and much more. So basically, this is part one of it. Like I said, if it doesn't resonate, please just don't. I don't care. Go to something that resonates with you. Okay, I'm just trying to explain a lot of questions that have been sent to me, and I'm going to do readings on them. I'm going to try and explain them the best I can to my knowledge. I work with the Pleiades. I do light language, healing codes, and I believe my mission on this earth is to do more healing readings and helping people to move out of the shadow that they're so deeply in sometimes, and to help them and guide them a little bit to become a better version of themselves, if that makes sense to you. So I'm a spiritual artist, so the paintings behind me, as you can see, some of them I drew. I will go into some of my drawings in a minute and explain them and why I channeled them and why it is important that we change the way we perceive this illusion that we're living in. So the illusion, I mean, when you have a look at this planet in a moment, it's such chaotic times, and it's heart-wrenching at times because there's so much destruction again. So as it was when you look back in history. So what is actually true about history is another question, is what do we actually believe in it? What is our purpose? Where do we go from here? What is our intergalactic travel? Where do you go at night when you're sleeping in your dream state? Do you remember where you go? You got to remember, most of work where we travel is and get information from is actually in our dreams at night. So it is really important to embrace that. And I might put some light on here because I want my cards to show up properly. So because it's getting very shady out there, and I don't want to use a really bright light, but I will turn on the light in a minute. So basically, is we need to embrace who we are. I'm just going to turn a light on. Beautiful. So there's no wrong or right way to do your journey, because you come here to experience how your journey goes, and I'm experiencing my journey. I'm here just to share some knowledge that I learned over the years, and a lot of knowledge that I remember about me, a little bit about how it all started. I've always seen spirit since a young child. I always remember I was born in Germany. When I come to Australia, I was very picked on or bullied at school, basically. And it was very harsh, but that's what people were at that time. I withdrew within myself, I guess, because I'm a Cancerian, and and I got Scorpio, and my North Node is Leo. So I'm a very I tune in very quickly. I actually see people for what they are. I can see if you're channeling. I can see if your high self is and your guides are with you. So a lot of times when I do work, I will actually call your high self in and your guides. And sometimes our soul stands outside of ourselves. We've been so injured in pain. So I always suggest to people on the journey to call their soul back in to work with them. And it happens quite a lot. You see people walking around like zombies sometimes, and their soul essence is very drained. So I think the soul, because it comes from pure love, it is very hard to understand that it can't cope with all the pain that we create on this earth sometimes. So I'm going to ask, so what we're going to start off with is, I've already pulled some cards, but we're going to go into the Pleiades now, okay? On the Pleiades planet they do have really big healing crystals, okay? This is one of my drawings. I drew it to the best of how I received it. It does look a lot bigger, and it vibrates really high frequencies. It's available to Earthlings if you would like to work with it. It is a very beautiful healing and rebalancing crystal. It hasn't always been available to Earth because of the negativity down here. So, and we're going to the negativity in a minute. So these are 3 Pleiades, and it's about us letting go. We're all on that journey. No matter how far advanced someone might think we are, we still have to work on ourselves to let go of certain things as we evolve every day on this journey. So it is really important that we actually stand in that power. And, when you need to work on yourself, take the time out to do so. It's an honor to do that. Don't ever feel guilty about that. This beautiful being shows you the sacral chakra in the third eye. So if you can see that, beautiful, right? So it is a very powerful energy, is because when we work up here, we also have to remember our womb. Our womb is a very sacred symbolism which gives life. So it's hijacked a lot because animals give life. It's basically on the female side that gives lives, okay? So it's been hijacked to steal the energy from the womb, because it's got pure energy, because when we birth a baby, it is pure energy of unconditional love. So, and it gets hijacked a lot by more devious forces, we call them that, okay? I don't want to go into really darkness of a lot of our soul's journey and why certain people do what they do. This is to understand what energy we must go into to basically save ourselves from being destroyed on this planet, because it has happened before. So our DNA, this is our DNA, okay? It's a beautiful card. We also have energy points, chakras, vortexes that let out energy and absorbs energy. So we must maintain them like you maintain everything. So it's cleansing your chakras, your etheric body, everything. We've got 12 chakras. So we must honor them in the most beautiful way. So I'll talk quickly about the chakras. So basically we have an earth star, which is on the bottom of the earth. So that's our grounding. And then we have our base. So it comes up, but we also got chakras in our knees and all that, but they're smaller chakras. We'll just talk about the main chakras in a moment, okay? So we've got our earth star base, sacral, navel, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, which is very important, our crown, our cudgel, our solar stars, and our stellar gateway, okay, which is high up. For the stellar gateway, I like using the oil neroli because it really opens it up. If you ever see some marker bar meditations, do them because they're really interesting, because it sits you in a marker bar and you can actually work with all your chakras, especially if you're beginning on this journey, basically. And joining the heart together as well. So we'll talk about the heart chakra in a minute. So we're on a journey in the moment. We're evolving very quickly, and the timeline is going very fast in the moment, faster and faster. So it's clearing out a lot of dark energies and things that we don't need to hold on anymore. You can get involved in everything that's going on, or you can center yourself and learn to understand that we are clearing a lot of energies and help clear it, basically. So, and there's so many beautiful workers out there in the moment, more in the moment, doing their work so beautifully and so humble. And it's like a gift of coming back home to oneself and knowing where we're from, knowing our journey and knowing what we came here to do. Some may not be there, and that's okay too, because we all somewhere. Some may not, is not in their lifetime to know all this. We all are on a different path, but our path is back to oneness, okay? Back to the humble oneness. So I'll talk about the heart really quick. So the heart, so you have your feminine and male energies and your inner child. So you really have to work on it to center them back together. So we're talking about our womb a lot. So, or the tree of life, where the womb comes from, and it's been really attacked over the centuries, because, like I always say, we are goddesses giving birth, and it should be honored. Yet they're suppressing the beauty of this birth, basically. So it's really hard to understand sometimes. So, what we really need to learn is basically just to go into inner self. So I'm going to teach you a quick thing. So sit in peace and quiet, close your eyes and breathe, right? Breathe into your heart. Now visualize roots growing on the bottom of your feet, all the way down to Mother Earth, all the way down to the crystalline layer. Wrap your roots around them. Bring that beautiful energy back up through your feet, through your body. Open your crown chakra. Travel all the way up to the central sun, to Mother, Father, God. Right next to it is a beautiful golden strand. Pull that down, all the way down, through your body, through your feet, and wrap around the crystalline layer. You're totally connected. Then now call in your soul. Say, I call in my soul. I call in my guides. I call in archangels to surround me. You can work with whatever archangel, like I work with Archangel Michael most of the times. I also work with Archangel Gabriel. Depends what kind of work I do. So you can visualize an archangel in front of you, behind you, to the left and to the right, and protect yourself. Now visualize a beautiful violet flame spinning with golden energy, silver energy all around. That's our beautiful, beautiful violet flame. And it sends out much love. And I usually work with the violet flame a lot. So I love using the violet flame. Then go into your heart space and just breathe into it, like, and just relax your whole body. And this is you calming your mind down and connecting to your higher self and your soul essence, which is really, really important, okay? So that's a start. So I will do more meditations on this. So I'm bringing all this part 1 to part 7 forward in a moment. just a little bit of information and awareness of what is around us. And then I'll ask questions on it as well, if that was true, because I had a lot of questions sent to me, so I would like to answer them, okay? So as I'm a vortex drawer and energy drawer and Stargate drawer, so this is the Stargate. You've got the Pleiades planets up there. They're not aligned like that, but that's how I draw them. So basically it's got light language in it, okay? So at night time, our soul sleeps, and you have dreams that you sometimes remember. But remember, it works actually night shifts, and wherever it travels to, it's working, okay? It like I can travel galactically to spaceships. My favorite place is on the Pleiades. There's a beautiful, it's the healing side of the Pleiades, and learning light language and healing children and healing souls and doing that kind of work. And there's a beautiful cave up there, which I had a really beautiful vision of, and I was going into it. It's a very hidden cave, so you can't get attacked, and it's really rebalancing. It has children in it, and they get taught to rebalance all their beautiful energies, and if they're traumatized, they get healed, basically. So that's what I believe is a beautiful journey for the children, and even myself, because it brings healing to myself as well. So I'm going to go into where we're at in a moment. So I've pulled these cards already, so I'm going to go into them quickly. We're going into a galactic reading today, okay? So our crown chakra porthole is very important to be open, okay? Because we're going back to oneness. So we're transforming our heart porthole, and we've been promised this soulmate journey with ourselves and other people that really resonate with us, basically. And we're in a really good place of manifesting. So we're in 2022. So I always say that we're on a 10-year journey, but the main calendar actually ended in 2012. So is it 2030, this 10-year journey, or is it to 2032 or irons out? That's to be seen. So we'll wait and see. And a beautiful transformation in a dream state. So when you're dreaming, you're actually doing a lot of healing within yourself as well. And you're, as we work, I call it the night shift, so that we travel at night with our soul, and we travel to different places wherever our attention is needed, whatever our journey is, whatever you signed up for. That's your most important work. And a lot of people come back and remember it. And they remember that they've been on different spaceships, planets, and planets I don't even have heard of. So it's quite a beautiful journey that we do. And sometimes you wake up very tired in the morning, wondering why you're so exhausted. Is because you did a lot of work in your night shift. So you do your day shift and then you do your night shift. So if that makes sense to you. So that's the best way of explaining it, okay? If you don't believe in it, that's okay too. But that's where I'm coming from. And I've been to many journeys where if there's disasters, we travel there and we have helped souls pass over. And it's a beautiful thing actually for souls that you can do that. So with manifesting, we go back into manifesting is, I think when we're born into this beautiful earth environment, even that it has such dense energy, is we learn to shift our energy. We manifest all that. We're manifesting clearing this earth in the moment. And it's really important that we do it and that we don't get caught up in all this fear-mongering and all this war situations, boys and their toys, basically, which I want to keep this vibration high, but we have to look at the shadow of everything as well. We've lived in the shadow energy for over 2,000 years now, and it's time to shift it. Remember, when you look back at the Romans, every great empire on earth so far has fallen, whether it was really highly evolved or if it was on the lower frequency. So we have to ask the question, why? Was the higher, like when we talk about all these beautiful souls telepathically doing healing work, and that the corruption, was it too high up in the vibration? Was there no balance? So we have to really look at it. And then when we went into this darker places, the negativity of it all, the shadow self is very unbalanced. So I feel always, and what I've been shown is that we have to rebalance everything. We have to rebalance the light with the darkness so it balances, and everything is about balance, but in our lives as well. So I believe that's where we're at in the moment. Everything is rebalancing. So if the earth is tilted, it's tilted, and there's a lot of shaking in the timelines, and it's bringing light in, but the light takes, like, because we're on earth, it takes longer as it does in time, because there's no time and space, so everything just evolves. So here we're working on a timeline because we got time. So it's a really interesting concept to consider is, where are we in time and space? Where we're going? Is time really important? Because it's going past very fast. Okay, so anyway, back into our transformation, if that makes sense anyway. So back to the heart portal. So we're working on it. So we've, over the centuries, really worked up our heart wall, lifetime after lifetime. If you have a look at all the lifetimes have lived, if you remember them, there's a lot heart wall material there that we have to conquer, and it needs to come back, open up again, and which it is. It's just taken a little bit longer, but that's okay too, because we're meant to be where we're meant to be. So I totally honor it, and the promise to the unity and the love that it will bring. And then the manifesting comes in easier and easier, and the transformation. It's a beautiful journey to take, basically. So with that said, we'll go to the next chapter. So where we're at, all right. Timelines and vortexes, the galaxies. So the galactic travel is huge. If you think we're alone, I don't think so. There's many planets out there. There's lifetimes everywhere. How we perceive it is up to us. You either believe or you don't. I know that a lot of things here on Earth we've been lied to, like all this space symbolism, the symbolism of other people, why they use symbolism, because they're signaling themselves if something is done. And when you have a look at all the patents that are taken over in the world, it makes you really wonder the mad people that really want to, what they really want to do to us humans, Do they think we're just born here to fall down to our knees and always follow their direction? No, we have become more spiritual and back into a knowing, which is really important. So it's the control. They don't have no more control, so they're trying every last how can I say it? They're trying every last thing to throw at us. They stole our knowing of who we are, the unique being we are. Once you realize how unique you are, the journey comes back and you reawaken your knowing, and it's quite amazing. And it's been hijacked for so long now. So now the universal energy is flowing back to Earth. The light is flowing back to Earth, and it's been long time coming, and it is beautiful for some and not so beautiful for others. Depends what side you're on. So it can make people very uncomfortable. So if you know what I mean. So, okay. Now I want to talk about shape-shifting. So in life, we have visions, like we see beautiful people, like beings. We see beings, we see images. So everything is shape-shifting. We all shape-shift in many ways. So the best way you can do some shape-shifting, if you get a red light in the darkness under you and you call in your ancestors and your face will change, that's a kind of shape-shifting as well. So there's many ways we can shape-shift. I believe the most we shape-shift is actually in our dream state, because we travel to other places, and so we don't always get, if we're doing more dangerous travel onto other planets like some people do. Not everyone does it. There's some people that remember what happened to them and remember what went on, and they tell their story, and there's many on YouTube that do so, and I honor them for their honesty and their remembering what happened to them. It's quite intriguing, actually, and how they actually look at humans, that we just another trading, that they can trade humans the way they do. We do that on Earth, and it's quite sad, really, but then we do the same to animals as well. So we have to look at it in a bigger perspective. What are we actually want to change, so we can change everything for the better, basically. I also want to talk about Mount Shasta. Mount Shasta has a beautiful energy on it in a moment. It's very galactic, and the vibration. So what I'm feeling, I had a vision the other day, is where the pyramids are, like the energy is rebooting itself. And a lot of energy is going to come out of the pyramids, more than there is now. So it's all aligning. And it's like when we talk about the 12 chakras, it's also about aligning all the energy that flows, and then your chakras will feel that energy. Your soul essence will feel it. So bit by bit, everything is getting activated again. Like same with Uluru when it got activated. So bit by bit, everything is reopening on the planet. And then our skulls, the 12 skulls, where all the memories hidden in, are reawakening that energy bit by bit. The skulls come back out, and all that energy, that knowledge is revamping itself, basically. So that's why a lot of people are remembering a lot of things. So it's quite interesting. So with the shape-shifting also shape-shifting is used in a lot of things, where a being can just shape-shift into making you believe it's something else than it really was. So you have to be aware of energies, because the frequency of that shape-shifting is very important to acknowledge. How do you acknowledge it? What comes from that shape-shifting energy you saw? 1 minute you saw a shadow there and it's gone, or you saw a not nice being, and all of a sudden it shape-shifted into a human, and you go, oh, what just happened? But it's for you to be aware that shape-shifting happens all the time. We all can do it in different ways. So just remember, I always believe shape-shifting is very, very common in our dream state. So that's what I've been shown anyway. So, and I totally believe that. So, but you don't have to believe it. Like, it's your journey. So I'm just sharing my experiences, basically. So why do we need so much guidance in this timeline? So I'm going to do a reading on that, okay? Why are we so lost that we see, when you look at the galactic law, is everyone has a council of 12, 8, like you've got Ashtar looking over areas. so they're basically like military ships, okay, and there's many of them in the universe and floating around, right, in the star system. So we have to respect that, that when we channel certain energies, is sometimes we think it's a certain being. It could be someone that's related to that energy, and that's what you're channeling to let you know the messages, because they're very busy up there, and a lot of them don't even know Earth exists up in space. So we have to be aware of that. And for the ones that does, is there's already a trade going on with Earth and them anyway. So, and some is not a very nice trade either, okay, because we don't mean much sometimes. But we do have beautiful beings that really want us to evolve and come back into the light so we can do more beautiful things, you know, as well. All right, so back to where I was going. Okay. So I'm going to ask, is galactic time travel actually a reality in the galactic time? Let's see what the answer is. Yes, it's a journey, and it has a fool there, so it's really unknown to us, but we can embrace it. So that's actually good to know. So I can mark that one off. So yes, it is. And it has a beautiful moon behind there as well. And it's to fill our cup up. It's a beautiful energy. Okay. So that's that question answered. So yes, it is a beautiful energy. It's the fourth journey of the unknown, and it brings in mystique, unknownness, basically, that we can actually do this kind of work, travel through vortexes, timelines, and reach into my favorite is when you do healing, you reach into a timeline of where they're more advanced in the healing, and you allow, like, you reach in and then you pull that energy through your arms and all around, and then you can actually put your hand on and start healing someone. I think that is the most awesome experience. And working with timelines, you know, and it's invisible to our eyes, but it's right in front of us. Basically, we walk through it every day. So if you know, you just can't see it because we're in 3D kind of settings. But when you channel a lot and really open, like, and look through, you can actually see timelines. Basically, it's quite lovely, actually. And there's a lot of timelines as far as I know. And I look at the universe like that. You know, people always think, like, we always look up into the star system and up above us, but yet I feel that our timelines are actually next to one another, just in a different dimension that we, like, a lot of people can't see. So that's my belief, and I've traveled through timelines, so I always still believe that. So I don't travel up there, I travel through timelines and vortexes. So if that makes sense. And you can go to different time settings, like, you know, you can move forward in time, backwards in time. In the moment, we're clearing a lot from behind us, so we're clearing that. So it's quite an interesting subject. I'll go more into it one day, okay? It's just something I love doing, okay? So the next one, where is the night travel that we do in the soul's journey teaching us to reopen, basically? Okay, let's have a look. So we have the night time. So we have the moon. We've got the 8 of Cups here. Okay, so we have the moon there as well. It's to teach us to fill up our cups. So because it's an 8 and it's done at night, and it teaches us to actually clear lifetimes, because we've got the Temperance, which is a beautiful card, it's teaching us to rebalance, to fill both cups up. Okay, so that's what it's there for, to take our crown back and to really understand the purpose of it. That's quite interesting. Okay, shape-shifting. Is shape-shifting real? So I'm asking these to tarot cards, so the cards don't lie, right? Sorry, they're flying out at me. All right. So it's been used by both sides, okay, because I've got this card, as you can see, and a lot of people hijacked it, okay? All right, just so you understand that. And they stole a lot of riches, but it's gained its strength again to the light, because we've got the strength card here. So shape-shifting is, yeah, it's a definitely yes, but it was hijacked, so it's going back into this crystal energy. Okay, so that's really lovely. As you can see with the symbolism on here, especially down here, is we're in the last stage. Okay, and then the crystal energy comes back. So we're going from if you notice, a lot of symbolism always got a snake on it, okay? So if you look at the World Health Organization, they always got the Kundalini snake on it. So our Kundalini is supposed to be in our back, but we also have an energy Kundalini basically wrapping around us because of how we channel and stuff like that. So the mask is getting taken off. So we're rebalancing to all this to understand shape-shifting and other dimension and all that. So that's the strength card is giving us the strength to see it for what it actually is, for the real truth, and how strong and how powerful us humans actually are, and how it's given us the strength back to do this. Okay, that I'll leave it at that for now, if that makes sense. Okay, we've done shape shifting. Okay, now what is the purpose of silver? Gold, crystal. So we're going to go into what is the purpose of all the riches that keep getting stolen by the elite and by outer worlders, right? Why is it that they do that? I know we do have a lot of crystal caves here, and they're more significant than you realize because they are energy, you see. Same with their grits, and stuff like that. So the gold and silver. When I did a channeling on it, actually, it's actually a lot of the spaceships need that energy. Okay, that's what I felt, and it's actually to trade. It's actually a big trading. Like we use petrol down here. They use gold, silver, coppers, metals basically, and crystals for their spaceships to function. And then if you have a look at some of the pictures, a lot of spaceships are meant to look silver, shiny. We see them as shiny things, reflections. A lot of them are actually made with crystal power. So if you have a really good look at some of the weather warping that goes on and how they built that thing, and it has crystals hanging on it, so it's crystalline basically. It's quite interesting, actually. So yes, it's used for higher powers and consciousness. Okay, it's to control consciousness as well. The riches. Okay, and do you know what? It's to actually control the feminine power, because every card I pulled is a feminine card. So it's quite interesting because I pulled the two queens. So, yes, it's very powerful. So a lot of these, I always believe when I wear silver is very good for channeling. I believe gold is a beautiful color that brings sunshine into people's life. So with the crystals, they're very healing based. So I use a lot of crystal, but I use selenite the most. So I have selenite behind me just here. It's on light. I've got one over there and I've got one over there. I've got big lands. I have them all around my house because I don't have to cleanse them. So to me, it's just logical to have them around. I also have crystal bowls here. I gongs, tuning forks. Because when I do healings, you have to really go deep into, really touch the wounds of that human at that time, and know what part needs healing first, because you can't heal everything in one session. It's an overload otherwise. So, but it's do you know, I feel with these cards being so feminine is they really hijack the feminine energy. So that's quite interesting, because we're going into the year Aquarius, and we're taking back that feminine energy because it's so needed, because we've got to start nurturing again. So they try to make us cold and not nurture, basically become detached from our womb and our childbirth in certain ways, if that makes sense to you. So yes, that's quite interesting actually. I'll go deeper into it as time goes past. I'm just doing basic explaining, because I'm going to make quite a few series on this. So why do we need so much guidance in this timeline? Why do we need to be guided so much? Were we hijacked with our own guidance, basically? Good question. Yes, we were. It was money orientated, okay, but the guidance is coming in really fast again, and it was taken by the dark side, but the light side is riding back in, and it's getting rebalanced, okay, with the Chariot. What was stolen is coming back, because the ending is here also, but it's a 5 of Pentacles, so it had to do, I believe we went into really greedy, everything is so greedy all the time. You must do this, you must, everything. If you have a look at the whole institution around the world, everything is about taking your money, taking this, taking that, making you work, doing this and that. You're always paying out. And, you know, they're trying to take everything, put 30-year mortgages and do this, do that. So it's quite interesting. So just remember that, okay? So now we got the Judgment. So it's been judged how it's been actually done. So I can really feel that. So the guidance is, where you're going with your guidance. So with the Judgment card, there's a third eye there, if you can see that. So they're basically trying to shut your third eye off, okay? So we must work really hard to keep it open and balanced. And the Justice and Judgment's here. So it's coming to an end. The Justice, and then the Magician comes back in, okay, which is quite interesting. So the Magician brings that energy back in, of the magic, as it was used for the dark side, it's now used for the good side. So the 7 of Pentacles here, and there's more even playful coming out. So your guidance is rebalancing yourself. It's becoming magic again. So the people that stole that from us are in judgment. So it's quite interesting, actually. So it's a quite beautiful journey. I'm really enjoying all this. So it's quite good. Do we need much guidance in the next? Okay. Why do we need that much guidance in the next? Do we need that much guidance as we have lately, as they have done here on Earth? So basically, is it changing? Is the guidance going to, let's ask it like this, is the guidance becoming fair on this Earth, okay? Are they all going to get removed, in other words? So it's in the process, and it's still been set on. There's still a few things to iron out. Yes, the guidance becoming lighter and lighter, and yes, we need guidance, but positive guidance. It's just one of the human traits that we have, because and it's a juggling act for everyone, basically, with the guidance. So it's how you juggle it, what you believe in. It had you tied up for a very long time, okay? Because with what we've been guided to has been not very nice, and it's still blindfolded. So humanity doesn't know where to be guided to, basically. But we have the Wheel of Fortune. It's all coming out now. It's a beautiful card. So we're going through the wheel. So the end of that era, and we're going into the new era, and we're standing proud and tall. So basically it's taking our power back and standing tall like a lion, and really realizing why we let our guidance go down and followed all the time. So it's about stepping your power. It's scary for some people because they don't realize that they actually even did that. So just be aware of it. So it's quite lovely. So it's all going to be okay, but it's still been set on. So the next screen is, are we actually time warping? Okay. So as my belief is we are, but I'm going to ask the cards to confirm that, okay? We are time warping because the womb, so I've got the Empress card here. So basically it's got to do with the womb as well, and birthing and women taking back the power and put nurturing into the, we're like a butterfly. Everything is coming out now. And people try to stop this, you see. So we are time warping back into better times. We can time warp into the past or the future, okay? Have we learned by our past mistakes? The technology is actually set on, so it's not available for, how can I say, they don't want us to know, basically. It's set on because they don't want it to be hijacked, basically. That's what I feel. That's tuning in. There's an overlooker there. So we've got the high priestess here. Because, the funny part, when I tune into this time warping, everything is connected to our womb, our giving birth, love, rebalancing everything, because a high priest is a very balanced card, high power of the goddess. But, it's quite beautiful. And the male energy needs to be rebalanced in this. The time warping actually brings a lot of abundance. So they're trying to hold it away, because I think time traveling, time warping, and balancing everything, we just need to rebalance it, basically. So when I did a reading last time, and time warping was really bad at that time, because it was so wobbly, and the matrix got really shook. I actually did drawings on it. I'll bring them out next time. So it's quite interesting, and it just wobbled. So basically, if you want to see 10, 20, 30 years ahead, what can you actually really see that far ahead? So it's quite an interesting question, which I'll go into more, because I see a lot into the future, what it brings. But have we, with the light that's there in a time warping area, can we see past that light? Are we meant to see it because that has been set on? Is it what we do now with this energy that we are in now? Will that express out when we can see further? It's how we react to everything now until we cleanse it, if that makes sense to you. So I'll get back into time warping onto another thing. So why do we see star beings? So I'll do why do we see star beings first. All right. They're from a higher dimension. Okay. That's why we see them. And they're both got the pentacle sign there. They bring us gifts to learn. They're always showing us the energy on Earth in the moment. It's a tower energy, okay? And they want us to realize that we have to cleanse this, and everything is crumbling basically. And they're overlooking us, okay? And then the journey of the Fool begins. So if that makes sense to you. So basically, with the tower energy, it's like the old ways are crumbling. The illusion is crumbling. We're the overseers. That's why you see us. That's why you connect with us. You ask us to come here, basically. That's what I'm really feeling. And with that, because you asked us to come here, we are here to help you. We cannot do your work for you. We are here to help you, but your world is crumbling as we speak, and bit by bit it will crumble until all that is flushed out, and then the new journey begins. Okay, so that's on that one. I want to know the secret of Camelot. Okay, see, I love Merlin, mystic or not mystic, whatever. But I remember a lifetime in the castles with with Arthur and the round tables, and I remember there was a person there that tried to start a war but lied about things. So that was a journey I was having, but also I've been taught a lot of, I always felt working besides Merlin, being an apprentice basically, something like that, okay? So it's just something I remember, because I'm really always, since I was young, I had this fetish with swords and sword fighting. So I became very, I did a lot of karate when I was young, and I used a lot of swords and used to learn how to work and swing and stuff like that. It was quite interesting, actually. And I used to have swords, all the mental swords hanging up. And they always had blue velvet on them, and there's beautiful stones. And I was always intrigued by it. So it's quite interesting. So we're going to go the secret of Camelot. What was the secret? It was the future, okay, and the horizon, the Three of Wands. Yes, it existed, so there's it there. So we got the swords there, and yes, it had a lot of swords around it as well. So it is real. There's a lot of tied up information about it, so it hasn't been really revealed, okay. It's not like in the movies, okay. This is the king, all right. It's an outworld. It's actually outworld from out of the world. Same with the queen. So they're sitting on it, and these are both wands, okay. Interesting. And it's a journey for us to learn, because it's still tied up. And again, it's to bring the cup in. So interesting. All right, I'll do one more. What other information does Spirit want us to know? Because you don't want on Camelot. Oh, the strength brings all the strength back. Okay, cool. And the sun, central sun. They knew. They had the old ways of wisdom, the input still in those days. That's quite interesting, actually. So there's all the questions I'm going to answer today on those subjects. And if anyone wants me to go really deep into them, I can do that. So over this part, what I'm going to do the next few episodes is find the time to upload the videos. I'm not very techno, so you just have to bear with how I do it in a moment until I learn to be more techno. It's never been really my interest to be stuck on a computer or Facebook or something like that. I just want my information. I want to share some information so people feel good about themselves and don't feel, I have those dreams, I don't know what they mean. it's just so someone, there is actually stuff out there. So The Secret of Camelot is very interesting. I'm going to actually go into that one a lot deeper in the near future, okay? Because I'm really intrigued with that one. So the Isle of Wonders, the crystal path. So what's our crystal path in the moment to rebalance? Crystals are very beautiful, actually. I'm keep getting white and red crystals in the moment. So rubies, red rubies, white crystals, selenite, whatever other crystal we find in white. I think they're very important in the moment. Balance all your chakras. We'll do a big chakra meditation soon. I'll either do it on here or Facebook. Facebook is a lot easier to use, actually. But I'm trying to build up this channel. So hopefully it helps people. And hopefully the channel grows and grows as we do these postings. And hope someone learns something out of it. If one person moves forward, that's the most important thing. So embrace your love, embrace what's going on. Don't get too caught up in all what the boys are creating on this world still. Just remember, the goddess energy is bringing compassion back to it. And we are really, really going to take our power back so we can achieve that compassion and nurturing on this planet again, because it so needs it. So I hope in the near future you will tune into everything, like I said before. I do have readings. The best way to contact me is I left the link below. I do readings through Spiritual Directive, which psychics, and so I do it because it's easy for me to do it through there, especially if they're out of Australia, the readings, if you know what I mean. So I do readings, healings. I'm Harvey Bay based in Australia, in Queensland, and it's a beautiful place where I am. I do have a lot of healing tools, and I do bring a lot of stuff. I'm usually a very quiet person with my information and healings. I haven't shared. I've only just basically shared it with friends and people that I'm really dear and close with, and do basically healings around my own place. So a little bit more is, I want to show you a picture. So up here, you see that one? So up here, there. So I work with guides. My friend does guide drawings, bless her heart, and send her lots of healing. And so they've got 3 Pleiades, Christ energy, Argenturian, and a beautiful heart, and Chunjing, which gives me light language basically, and symbols that I receive. So working with the Pleiades, I've always felt warmth with the Pleiades, and about 20 years ago, I really started using the Pleiades energy more. I opened the Stargate, and I read a lot of books on the Pleiades as well. Since I was young, I never thought I was from this planet, because I could never understand what people so mean to each other. So I started the journey with the Pleiades basically, and I'm really honored that I did that and learned so much about it. I study a lot, and I do have a lot of certificates in healing and stuff like that. So I'm not just a person that all of a sudden appeared. No, I've done a lot of my background studies so as well. So with that being said, yes, I've done Reiki, and I've done a lot of magnetic work, which is quite interesting, vortex work. I'm really into vortex frequencies, quantum healing, going through the quantum field, but on a soul energetic kind of level. I'm not on a scientist, because I really wouldn't want to be a scientist, because there's just too much. So, but on that kind of level basically, and I quite enjoyed actually. So if that makes sense to you. So with that all being said, I hope you have a lovely day. I'm going to sign off now. So you have a lovely, lovely afternoon. And I'll see you in part 2. Bye-bye.